Hi there, welcome to this midweek market analysis. So as usual, what I'm going to do is to walk you through the overview of the market and highlight some of the opportunities over here that you want to pay attention for the remaining part of this week. Okay, so let's start off with the dollar index over here. Okay, so you can see over here, our dollar index actually had a pretty nice neat bounce from the low around 104.80. And that's actually coming post NFP going into this week here. Past couple of days it has been rallying a bit. Now this move to the upside is impulsive in nature, at least from a smaller scale perspective, and therefore in the short term, if we can get any kind of a corrective pullback here, we will expect one more pushback, and that will present a short-term buy opportunity with a target around 106.1 to 106.40 area, right around that 50 and 6-minute fit. So do look out for it. If today and tomorrow we can get a pullback correctively, then going towards the end of the week, early next week, we may see another pushback to the upside for the dollar itself. Now, if you go over to the euro, we do have quite a opposite opportunity anyway. The dollar index and the euro dollar is often the inverse correlated, right? And we can see here very clearly three-wave corrective structure being completed, price kind of respecting the top of the channel as well. You get a mini impulsive move to downside for the start of the week. So same thing, if you can get a corrective pullback here, that would open up a decent sell trade with a target, potentially back towards the bottom of the channel and even all the way back to retest the previous bottom at 1.0450. So euro dollar, definitely something to pay attention to for the week. Okay, give it maybe today and tomorrow. If you can get a corrective pullback, then that will be a decent sell. GBP as well. Okay, so this is definitely kind of a V-shaped formation, very similar to what's happening on the euro side of things. Three-wave completed on a bigger structure, so any corrective move here would present a sell opportunity, with a target somewhere back at the previous area around 1.2030, 1.2040 zone. Okay, so quite similar on that. Aussie dollar, I'm neutral. Okay, we did get a very nice little push up, and then after which the market came down quite strong. I'm not too keen in looking for a sell here. The reason is because while we did get that mini impulse push to the downside, the prior move development is very different from the euro and the pound. Okay, and that's something that we stress a lot in terms of the context of pattern. Now this one here, you can see it went up pretty strong, okay, as compared to just bringing you to the pound dollar. This was strong too, but the overall structure is corrective in nature. Right, now if you take a look back at the Aussie, we don't really see that corrective nature, right? So for that reason, I'm actually a bit more neutral on the Aussie. I'm not too keen to sell this. I'll be waiting for a clearer pattern. Whereas the euro and the pound does present a better opportunity, I would say a higher probability opportunity to look for the sell trade. Alright, so this is the part where not all patterns are equal. They may look the same, but you need to add the layer of context in understanding, from a bigger picture perspective, what is it developing. Okay, so that's on Aussie side of things. Then we have the dollar Canadian. Dollar Canadian here, I'm also neutral. Okay, initially I'm looking at sell opportunity, especially after this crawl. We did manage to get a little bit of a break. Okay, and of course that move to downside riding it quite neat. Kind of got out somewhere nearer towards NFP period, which is here, right? So some decent profits. We did not really take this, managed to catch that, and then of course earlier this week we get a pretty nice little impulsive move to the upside. So right now I'm neutral. Okay, this move is a little bit too deep for me, because ideally if this is gonna just do a simple three wave like that, we'll definitely look for the sell. Okay, but because the recent move is pretty deep, I'll rather be a little bit patient and see how the market is going to develop from here first before kind of commit to any particular direction. Okay, so this is neutral as well. Dollar yen here, I'm neutral as well for the remaining part of this week. I'm actually more inclined to look for a sell. Again, from a higher time frame perspective, from where we are right now in terms of dollar yen price, I'm actually more interested in the sell. But I think this week we'll not likely get anything, right? Because We had this move. Ideally, if this week's continued development to this pattern here, then fantastic. We'll have a sell trade next week. But this requires time for the market to develop, and unlikely it's going to complete this week, and that's the reason why I'm going to be neutral for this week here. Okay, gold is presenting something. Now, gold here came back and retest the area around 100% 1, 2, 3 right now. If you go down to the lower time frame, if you can get a little bit of a bottomish formation, maybe a double bottom structure, that will give me the setup to get involved. If not, then if this just takes off like that, I'll wait for a corrective pullback, okay, to get involved in the buy trade. Right, so that's the view on XAU. Okay, so I think definitely you want to pay a little bit more attention on that. Okay, crude oil actually came down and test the area here right now around $77.75. We also have the channel structure, right? So right now it's testing that. So there's no reason to be selling this anymore. And I would say if you have any sell trade on crude oil, suggest to consider taking partial profits or even just get out of the trade with whatever profits you have. We are expecting a decent bounce soon. Okay. Now initially we were looking at this and expecting it to pull back for us to sell it again. That did not happen. This turns out to be more of a running flat structure. So 1, 2, 3. You know, it is what it is. So right now, if we can get a crawl here or even a impulsive bounce following a correction, we'll be more inclined to look for the buy trade. Okay, but this would not likely be something this week. Okay, so if you have any sell, suggest to just take partial profits or even consider taking full profits, and we'll look at it again next week. S&P, we're definitely bullish. There's no reason to be selling this right now, but just be patient, wait for the pullback before you commit to the buy trade. Okay. Aussie yen, pretty similar to what we're seeing in terms of the euro dollar and the pound dollar. If you can get a corrective pullback, that will be a sell trade with a target around 95.3, right? Very, very simple structure. Pound Australia here as well. Okay, the idea of this is more of a short-term move. We're trading internals of a bigger pattern, right? 1, 2, 3. We're trading the internals of it. So if you can get a corrective three-wave pullback like that, we have an impulse correction. We can take this trade up with a final target around 1.9380, and that would be the final target for the buy, right? So it's definitely a short-term thing. Okay, this is actually quite similar to the initial projection of crude oil, right, where we're looking at a potential sell. That's also again trading the internals of it. Okay, so usually when we're trading the internals move of a bigger structure, we're definitely short term on it, right? Okay, so that's why you see here short term bullish. Okay, last one here, BTC. My take is we're expecting kind of a pullback here. So if you're interested in the short-term trade in crypto, an impulsive break below this minor low around $34,750 price point, that would open up more downside. You know, potentially pulling back to just around 31,600. If you are looking at the sell here, just bear in mind that the overarching kind of like big direction is still bullish. Okay. But you can see here we're developing kind of a crawl. We're lacking the momentum to the upside, so there's a good possibility price will actually pull back, reset, and then only make another move up, right? So short term, that presents an opportunity to take a sell trade. Good. So that's all from me for this week's update over here. All the best to your trading, and I'll see you guys in the next one.